Yo, yo, yo. Shovel up, yup, yup. Cut the deck, yup, yup. Heart racing, what comes next?
Alright, all those new to YouTube and Magic the Gathering. I'm sure you're not new to YouTube, but you're new to Magic the Gathering. We are going to do a walkthrough of a jump in. So first off, you hit play in the bottom right corner. Then you go to events. Then you go down to here where it says jump in. You click on that tab. You should have some tokens up here that allow you to join the jump in events. So go ahead and select jump in. And now you're going to go through and choose the colors you're thinking about you want to be. So it provides you with 3 different decks with different colors. I would recommend sticking to the more single colors to start, or the colors that you're interested in playing. So the colors that I'm interested in playing, let's say red. Discard red. You get your first pack, and then you get a second pack. So we can either go cats with it, stations, or elementals. So we already have a red deck. I'm going to go with elementals. So red, blue goes well with red, because it's going to give me a lot of red cards. And we'll hit confirm. Then this is our first deck that we have ever had. You can go through the deck. You get to keep these cards as well. So that's a very strong top ends. We'll head back. We'll go ahead and give a first game of play. You hit play to join into a game. And then you have to wait for it to queue, which means you're waiting in line just like any queue in a line. So it's awesome that you're starting to play Magic. This is a brand new account. And we're doing a walkthrough of all of the ways to build up a brand new account to be able to play all of the different events and not actually have to spend any money. So just to be a part of the community and start to play Magic. Of course, you can play by, spending the cash, and there's nothing wrong with that. Get cards quicker and all of that. For those of you who enjoy the grind, this is a good way to do it. So then we look at our cards. So you get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 cards to start. We have 3 lands, which is good. You want between 2 and 4. 3 is optimal. You see the curve. So when you can play cards, obviously 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, on turn 3, on turn 2, and on turn 4. So we have a nice curve. So we are going to keep this hand. The order in which you play your lands is important. As we did in the tutorial playthrough video, which you can check out on the page. I'll have a link in the description if you would like to watch that. And obviously you did play that already, and you can always go back and play that again if you need another round of tutorials. So now you wait for your opponent. And we are playing YesmanMTG. YesmanMTG. So if you click on your little character, it provides you with interactions that you can play. You can earn interactions, and you can also buy interactions. So start by saying hello. So there could be a couple things that's going on. They could be disconnected. They could be just AFK, away from the keyboard. But just like chess, there is a timer in which they have to do something. So if they don't do something, then it is your turn. So now it's our turn. When your cards are highlighted blue, that means your turn. You always want to play a land. We can go ahead and allow this one to enter tapped, because we have nothing to play on turn 1. So it's okay if a tapped land comes in. So we could play a cycle land, and I'll show you how this works. So first, we want to get down our 2-drop, which is this card right here. And obviously, cards highlighted in blue means you can play it. So let's get down our first card. So it has what's called Summoning Sickness. That means, see how it's like grayed out a little bit? That means that we can't do anything. It can't be tapped. It can't be attacked. So it just sits until the next turn. They're playing an Elves deck. All right. So obviously that can tap for mana. It also has a sacrifice ability. So what we are going to do, we'll play one more card, the land, to get down 3, so that we can play this card by paying for it with the land. We can discard a card. Do we want to discard a card? No, there's no reason for us to discard. So we will decline, and we will attack. And they took 3 damage. So now their enchantment that they played triggered. The beginning of your upkeep, surveil 1. You can sacrifice this and create X 2/2 black and green elf tokens, where X is the number of elves in the graveyard. Obviously, they have no cards in the graveyard, which indicates the 0 on the enchantment. So creatures, enchantments, sorceries, they play at what is called sorcery speed. Can't play that for a while, so we'll go ahead and just get rid of it. Attack. We'll generate a creature, and we'll see if they sacrifice, which they probably will. But if they don't, they don't. Everyone on these matches is pretty new to the game, unless they're doing what I'm doing. So now we have 5 lands. So, as you can see, we're in between stages right now. Right now is what's called sorcery speed, so obviously that's a sorcery. That can be played during your phase, your 2 main phases. This is the first main phase. And we're in our attack phase. And now we're at my main phase. So we'll play here. Generates a token, which is a treasure token. Sacrifice this and add 1 mana. It only adds 1 mana for that turn and for that phase. So you want to be strategic when you sacrifice mana. Some more removal. So right now we could use it to get out our big guy. Which brings someone to the forefront, which we can play until next turn. So what would be nice is if they play a creature, we can play this next turn. Remove it, deal 7 damage, which is a pretty big turn. Okay, they have some more removal. discard a card. Go ahead and attack. Let's start putting some pressure on them. So they have one elf in the card. And we got more removal. Wow, this deck has a good amount of removal. For 4, 5, 6. Which they should. Just one attack there, that's fine for them. Which is wonderful. I get to draw twice. Attack. Keep putting that pressure on. Elf spell back so they can remove one of my cards and draw 2 back. These jump-in decks are very good to start to build your collection, especially if you have no cards collected. It's a good way to get decks put together that you could try out in standard as you learn to play, and you could change them as you gain more cards. You can do your daily quests with them. Obviously, we attack. And we get 5. Down to 5. Place your bail. If we can get a removal card on the next turn, top slot, another one, attack. Stay on the aggro side, the aggression. Just keep putting pressure on. Two. His lifelink. 3/3 lifelinker, so we don't want to really attack into that. So we'll wait. So now they're in an advantageous spot. They have more cards on the field than us. They're going to be continuously scrying. Got one of their big creatures out. Probably should have kept this dragon instead of ditching it. And Now we're just pulling a bunch of lands. So we'll let him hit. Because we can't kill it anyway. So if we did what's called chump block. Flying haste. And we win. We're going to lose because he has that lifelinker. So that's a good way to show you what happens on lifelink. So we're still alive. They can remove the flying dragon, and they also can attack in. Put a bunch of creatures on the board. So these games are very strategic to play, right? Things trigger at different times. Okay, so target creature you control deals damage of its power to target creature an opponent controls. So we can remove this card, which is great. We'll attack in, so we're going to lose him, but they're going to have to trade. And if we can get another rush guy, another creature with haste, and we will win. If not, we'll lose. So we're on what's called a 2-turn clock. So we attack twice and then we lose. And they were able to pump it. So we lose. Alright. And that's how you play. You make mistakes and what you do, and it really affects the gameplay later. So play until you win so that you can get your card. You'll collect one uncommon, and then when you're all done, you hit resign, and then you get to keep all the cards you had, and you get your deck. And then when you're ready, go ahead and take a look in here. And you can go through all of the topics. What your profile is, seasons and rankings, building your collection, ways to play, types of ways to play. And this is what we just played right here, jump in. So you can read exactly what Mad Wizard says about that, and then get that started.